boys and girls, it's Mrs. Rojas. Thank you for tuning into my channel, Mrs. Rojas E-Learning. Okay, this is going to be your day 7 and 8 for reading, okay? I will tell you when I'm done with day 7, and then I'll introduce my day 8 so that way you know where to stop so you can continue your lesson for tomorrow for day 8, okay? All right, boys and girls, today we're going to be covering drama, The Little Red Hen. So make sure you have your packet ready, okay? What you will need to do before we get started, and I'll give you time, this is the time where I will tell you pause. You can pause the video so you can have time to prepare. So if you have those pages where it has the masks like this, you can go ahead and cut those out. I'm not going to cut out all the masks. You can do that, okay? If you have scissors. If you don't have scissors, then don't worry about it. You don't need to cut anything, okay? So these are masks. You can have these to be able to act out the play. You will be able to act out the play by yourself or with your family because there are 5 different characters here to play. You can act it out and you can use the masks. Some you might be able to maybe attach yarn or something, okay? And you can color them as well, okay, if you would like to, okay? Those are optional for you to use, okay? You do need your student page 3, 4, and 5 because that is where we will be reading this play, okay? Let me tell you, student page 1 and student page 2, these are going to be used for day 8. So you don't need to worry about these right now, okay? You can set those to the side. So at this moment, go ahead and pause your video and start cutting it out, okay? I will continue, all right? So here, boys and girls, this is a different type of story that we're going to read. Who here has ever seen a play? I know for sure 2nd grade, those of you that were in 2nd grade last year with us, you guys got to see a play, right, last year. So it's awesome. Now you know how different it is, right, from an actual movie. This is you seeing it live and being acted out live, okay? In this type of genre, this is also called a drama. So drama play, it's the same thing. Okay, it's when someone puts on a play, okay? Have you ever heard the word dramatic, right? That's when you're acting it out a little bit more, okay? So it's the same thing, drama, okay? It's different from a regular story. Now, in the drama, you have acts and scenes. It's different from like a chapter or a chapter book, okay? It's a little different. It's broken apart that way. You also have characters. So in the story, and let me show you here, you have characters, a list of characters. So here we're going to be covering Little Red Hen, Goat, Cat, Goose, and a narrator. This is Act 1, Scene 1. You also have a setting, which is where it's going to be taking place. The setting will change throughout the drama, so make sure you pay attention to that because you're going to do that when you fill out your day 8 page, okay? And I'll explain that to you in day 8. You also have dialogue, and dialogue are the actual words that the character is going to read. Within this dialogue, boys and girls, you have parentheses, okay? There are words in there. That is just for you to act it out. Those are what they call stage directions, and you'll know what to do. And as I'm reading the story, I'll stop and I'll explain a little bit about what the character might be doing, how the character might be acting it out. That way, when you do it and when you act out this play, you'll be able to follow those directions. That's what they call the what did they label it as? They called it a, sorry, I'm looking here. Stage directions. There you go. Stage directions, okay? So, and the rest is just their dialogue, okay? So boys and girls, this play is a story about the Little Red Hen and her friends, but it is written so you can perform it as a play. I'm going to read the play to you, but first, I've already pointed out all of the characteristics of what a drama or a play has. And just in case you forget, it's here on student page 1. We have characters. We have a narrator. A narrator is a person that's actually reading it to you, okay? It might tell you, like the Little Red Hen lives together with her 3 friends. It kind of opens up the story for you. Acts and scenes, okay? The parts pretty much of the drama. Dialogue, which are the words that the characters are speaking, and then setting, which is where it's taking place, okay? All right. So that is what a play is. Now, before we actually do read the play, I want us to make some predictions. And remember, predictions are guesses. I want you to predict, before we actually read, what do you think it's going to be about? Or what you know, what you already know. We will be stopping, and I will tell you when, for us to continue to make predictions, just like we practiced on the previous videos, which I believe was day 5 and 6, right? Where we were also making predictions and inferencing. So this is us practicing as well, okay? So before we read, let's go ahead and make a prediction about what we think the story is going to be about, or what you already know. So for me, I already know that the story contains, and I'm looking at the title, The Little Red Hen. So it might contain a red hen, right? It might have other animals in the story. So what I want you to do, boys and girls, is you don't have this chart with you. You don't have a page. So what I suggest you do is on that page, student page 1, go ahead and draw it on the back. Okay, make the chart and start writing it down yourself. Okay, so write it on one of the empty pages on the back. Okay, especially if you don't have scissors, you can just use one of the mask pages and you can just make your lines. Oops. And then before reading, during reading, and then after reading, and then you can just write. Okay, that's another idea to help you out. Okay, so red hen, other animals. Maybe it might take place in a farm. Okay. I want to say maybe this book is a fiction book, like made up story, but I think that some parts in there might be real. So I'm going to say it's a realistic fiction. Okay. And if you have more predictions about what you already know or what you think might happen in the story, go ahead and write them down there. I'm just going to stop there because I'm limited on how much space I have there as well. Okay? All right, boys and girls. So I'm going to read the first act of the play to you. Remember, we will go back and check if our predictions were correct. And then we'll go, before we go into Act 2, we'll make another prediction for the during the reading and go back and make sure we're checking. And then after we're done, we'll check the after reading part, okay? And of the whole play. So what I want you to do is just make sure you follow along with me, okay? That way when you're ready to read on your own, you already know what to say, okay? All right, I am now reading with the actual drama, student page 3, 4, and 5. Make sure you have them and follow along. Cast of characters. Here we have Act 1, Scene 1. The setting, the house of the Little Red Hen. You have goat, cat, and goose are lying in the living room. They're already telling you where the setting's at. The Little Red Hen is in the kitchen. That might change, remember. That's going to help us. Narrator. The Little Red Hen lives together with her 3 friends, goat, cat, and goose. The Little Red Hen always works very hard around the house. Then I'm going to say, Little Red Hen, you do not act that out. When you are acting it out yourself on day 8, don't read what's in dark. You're only reading what's lighted, and you're not reading what's in parentheses. Remember, that is just your stage directions, and this is just telling you who the next character is that will speak. And also, boys and girls, try to change your voice for each character. That way we know it's a different one, especially if you're the only one acting it out, okay? All right, Little Red Hen. She's looking out the window, so you can pretend that you're the Little Red Hen. And if you have your mask, you can also have it on. She's looking out the window. Okay. The rain this spring has made the wheat in the field very tall. I need to pick it so that I can make some bread. Now she's walking right in the living room. She's looking around at her friends. The wheat in the field is tall and needs to be picked before it goes bad. Who will help me pick the wheat? And now you go to goat. Oh, there's your goat. He's looking up from his book. Not I. I will just stay here and read. Then the cat. She's looking up from painting her nails. Not I. I will just stay here and paint my nails. Then we go to goose. He's looking up from her knitting. Or she's looking up from her knitting. Not I. I will just stay here and knit. Then back to Little Red Hen, okay? She's staring at them. She's kind of like hurt, right? It's telling you that's how you can act it out, okay? I will just do it myself since you are all too lazy to help me. Narrator. The Little Red Hen leaves the house to go pick the weeds, okay? Little Red Hen angrily picking her weeds. I can't believe my friends are so selfish that they won't even help a friend. All right, let's stop right there, boys and girls, and then I'll continue to your next act, which will be Act 1, Scene 2, okay? All right, so before we go on, I want us to check our prediction of before reading, okay? Now, let's go back. Did we have Red Hen? Yes. Were there other animals? Yes. Was it a farm? We don't know that yet. They did not mention that, so we can't say that it is a farm, okay? But typically animals like that, right? A goat, a hen, right? Typically we find them where? Maybe on a farm. And then she talked about a wheat field. Typically, where would we find that? Countryside, right? So maybe. So this is a maybe. That's why I put a question mark. Do you think it's a realistic type story, realistic fiction? Yeah, it's fiction. Why? Well, if you think because animals are talking in the story, yes, ding, 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 you are right. So animals really don't talk unless, of course, it's a trained parrot, right? But in real world, no, they won't be talking. There won't be a hen walking around, right, in the kitchen making food or talking, right, like that. But are some of the things they're doing could really happen in real life? Yeah. Can somebody become upset? Yes, right? Like she was hurt. Her friends didn't help her. Okay? All right. So far, our predictions were good. In a little bit, we're going to be making predictions for our during the reading, and then we'll go back and check just like we did right now. Okay? All right. Now I'm going to read the second act of the play to you. And then remember that the predictions that you made, and when I finish reading, we'll review them and go back and just like we did. Okay? All right. Oh, let's actually make a prediction already. I'm sorry, I just saw that. Let's make a prediction here for our Act 2. What do you think as we're going through it, what do you think is going to happen next? Okay, let's make a quick prediction. Maybe she will do all the work. Hen does all work. Okay. What do you think she needs the wheat for? Maybe to bake something? Okay. What else do we know? Or what else can you predict during the reading? You think she'll still be upset with her friends? Yeah, maybe Hen will still be upset. Or maybe she might give them a chance to help, right? Sorry, a little small there. So maybe she might give them another chance for them to redeem themselves, right? For making her so upset. And then once we're done with that act, we'll go back and check if we're correct. Okay? All right, boys and girls. So now we're going to go back to Act 1, Scene 2, student page 4. Okay, student page 4. All right. So this is the setting now. The house of the Little Red Hen. You have goat, cat, goose. They're lying on their beds. Okay? The Little Red Hen has returned from picking wheat. Little Red Hen. She's wiping her head because she's hot, right? Picking the wheat was hard work. I can't wait to make the bread from this wheat. And now it says that in parentheses, now she's acting it out that she's calling her friends. I have picked the wheat. Now I need some help turning it into flour. Who will help me? Then it goes to goat, and it tells you what he's doing. He's not even looking up from his bed, so he's kind of like ignoring her. Not I. I will just stay here and take a nap. Then you have cat, also not looking up from her bed. Not I. I will just stay here and take a nap. Then we go to goose, also not looking up from her bed. Not I. I will just stay here and take a nap. Think about how the hen is feeling right now. How would you feel if they didn't help you? Okay, Little Red Hen looking at her friends angrily. So now she's just looking at them. Remember, they weren't looking at her, what they were telling us. Fine, I will turn the wheat into flour myself, since you are all so lazy. Narrator. The Little Red Hen goes to the mill to turn her wheat into flour. Little Red Hen now is telling us what she's doing, which is she's working hard. This is where you would act it out, turning the wheat into flour. Okay, this is hard work. I really could have used the help of my very selfish, lazy friends. And that ends that act. Okay, and that's Act 1, Scene 2, and then of course we'll go in a little bit to Act 2, Scene 1. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do, boys and girls, is let's continue making a prediction for here during the reading for the Act 2. Do you think, well, let's check first. Does Hen do all the work for that part? Yeah, she was still picking the wheat, right? She turned that wheat into flour in the mill. Is she baking yet? Not yet, but she did mention she was going to bake, right? So this is still a maybe, right? Is the hen upset? I think her feelings changed. Her feelings did change right when she was calling her friends that she was done picking the wheat. So she was kind of giving them, right here, guys, a second chance, right? And what happened? If you say, or you're thinking, they still didn't help, yeah, you're correct. So we got our prediction correct there. Okay? All right. So we're going to go to Act 2, Scene 1. Okay, what do you think will happen now? So I think here, and I'm going to kind of add it on over here. So I'm going to make this a little bit wider just so we can put in a little bit more info right here to the side. So I'm thinking maybe that in the next act and the last act, boys and girls, she'll bake, right, her bread. Do you think she's going to share it with her friends? Do you think she might? Maybe not share. And you can go ahead and write why you think she's not going to share. Should she have to share with them if they're not helping? Something to think about, right? Do you think they might help her bake in that act? Maybe. Might help. I'll just put might, right? Maybe her friends might help her there. Okay? You think she's going to consider them friends after that if they don't help? Yeah, if you don't think so, maybe you can write that here. Okay? All right, let's go to the next act. Now we're in Act 2, Scene 1. Now the setting is the kitchen. So they started off in the kitchen in the house, then she went to the field, then in the mill, and now she's back in the kitchen. In the Little Red Hen's house. Oh, so even that, boys and girls, they're in her house. Okay, so now let's go to Little Red Hen. I'm not going to tell you anymore what she's doing here. Okay, in parentheses, remember this is what you will act out, okay? I have worked hard to make the wheat into flour, and now I'm going to make a loaf of bread. I am so tired. It would be very nice if my friends would help me make the bread for our dinner. Who will help me make the bread? Now goat. Not I. I will just stay here and read. Cat. Not I. I will just stay here and paint my nails. The goose. Not I. I will just stay here and knit. Little Red Hen. Fine. I will make the bread for our dinner all by myself, since you are all too selfish and lazy to help me. Quietly to herself. My friends are so selfish and lazy. I think I will teach them a lesson. Okay. And remember, boys and girls, there is a lesson learned here after the story, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Narrator. The Little Red Hen worked hard to make the most beautiful loaf of bread for dinner that night. While she works on the bread, she decides the best way to teach her friends a lesson. The smell of the delicious bread brings all of the three friends into the kitchen, just like that. The bread smells so yummy. The cat. Sniffing. The bread smells delicious. The goose. Sniffing. The bread smells very good. And the little red hen, she's looking at her friends while they're sniffing around. Who will help me eat the bread? I will! I will! The little red hen then realizes that her plan to teach her friends a lesson was working. Little red hen. And this is when all of her three friends wait to eat dinner, right? They're anxious. You will not help me eat this bread. I picked the wheat all by myself. I turned the wheat into flour all by myself. And I made the bread all by myself. I will eat this bread all by myself. Do you think they learned a lesson here? Think about it. And why? Okay? Narrator, maybe next time the selfish, lazy friends will learn to help their friend and will get to enjoy the results of their hard work. And you are done with your story. So we're going to be checking our prediction for the after the reading, okay? So we predicted this, right? Bake bread. Did she bake bread? Yeah, so then she baked bread. Good. Write it down. Not share. We said she wasn't going to share. Did she share? No. So, not sharing. But, did she have a reason to not share? She did, because they didn't help. Or they're right here, they didn't help. Okay? And we said they might help, but that was incorrect, right? They didn't help. Okay? Do you think they learned a lesson for maybe next time? Yeah, so then we can write lesson learned. Teaches you the moral of the story, right? Is you have friends and they're asking you for help, right? Especially if they're going to enjoy some of that as well, right? Like in this case, they would have enjoyed food, right, from her, but it wasn't fair that she had to do everything for them. And then just for them to just sit and enjoy what she worked hard for. Is that fair? Would that have been fair for her if she gave them bread still? No, she had to teach them a lesson, right? Maybe next time there's an opportunity. Maybe next time they will remember, oh, we better help. Otherwise, we're not going to get some of this bread. Okay? All right, boys and girls. So let's do a quick review of what we've talked about today. So here, make sure that if you have not written this, go ahead and finish writing. That will stay up there. Or go back and pause my video. I'm giving you the chance right now. So you can pause your video, finish writing for your day 1, okay? All right. So now, boys and girls, I'm going to review before we get into our day 8 lesson, okay? So we talked about cast of characters, the actors, the people who are actually participating in the drama. Narrator, the person who's actually saying the words, right? Who's kind of opening up the story and setting the scenario, the stage for us. The act and scenes, remember, it's kind of like in parts, right? Dialogue, those are the words that are actually being said by the cast of characters. Then we have a setting, and remember we talked about the setting, where it takes place and what they're doing, right? So the setting here, it changes, and it changes throughout on the acts and the scenes. So remember, they talked about the kitchen, they talked about the living room, they talked about the mill, they talked about the bedroom, and then they talked about going back to the kitchen. So it changes. The scene, the setting does change, okay? And depending on your scene as well. Okay, boys and girls, this ends your day 7 for reading. Go ahead and pause your video now, and then it will continue on to day 8. So if you feel that you're ready to do day 8 as well, go ahead and just run it through. Okay, boys and girls, I will be right back for your day 8. Hi, boys and girls, it's me, Mrs. Rojas again. Thank you for tuning in to Mrs. Rojas e-learning. This is your day 8 for reading. Okay, so if you went ahead and continued on great. You can do it all in one day technically, because all you're doing is actually reading and acting it out, okay? The last activity you will do is these 2 pages, student page 1 and student page 2. Make sure you take them out. I will be going through them, but you will be cutting it out and gluing them onto this page. So you would cut these out, and it tells you here, cut out the pictures and place them on the characteristics of drama chart. So you will cut these out and you would sort them where they go, okay? And then I'm gonna explain what you're gonna do on the back of this same page, okay? If you do not have scissors, remember, it's okay. What you can do is, let's say cast of characters, whichever one you think is a cast of characters, go ahead and just draw them out. Or you can leave them on here and you will just write the title, and I'll do one with you to show you in a bit, okay? All right, boys and girls, so for your lesson for day 8, this is what you are in charge of doing. First, we're going to just review what these mean. So cast of characters, boys and girls, we kind of talked about these characteristics, and these are just who is in the play, right? They talked about Little Red Hen, the goat, the cat, right? So those are cast of characters. Narrator, it's the character that's actually telling the story, right? They're kind of opening up what's happening or what's going to happen in the story. So that would be your narrator, okay? Then you have your acts and your scenes, okay? Remember, these are just the parts of the play, okay? It's divided. It's divided that way, okay? So that way you know when to set up for your next scene and what's going to happen, right? Then you have dialogue, and remember, dialogue are the actual lines that the character is going to say, okay? And then you have the last one, which is your setting. This is where the story is actually taking place, right? Remember, the story, the setting changes throughout the acts and the scenes, okay? All right. So now, boys and girls, what does the dialogue in the drama tell us? We already know that it's telling us the actual words that they're saying, okay? All right. You are going to be rereading, and this is what you will be doing, okay? And this is what you'll be doing on your own. You're going to be rereading the play, the drama, okay? If you have people to help you act it out, perfect. You can be one character and assign the other characters to another person. If not, it's okay. You're just going to reread the drama yourself, okay? And remember, just like the way I was doing in day 7, change your voice so that way you know that it's a new character. And I also want you to act out. Remember, on your stage directions, you're going to act out what's in the parentheses. If it tells you the Little Red Hen, she's looking out the window, then pretend you're looking out the window. And this is the time, boys and girls, that you will be utilizing your masks. So if you cut them out, colored them, cut them out, you could have tied a yarn or something to them. If not, just hold them up, or maybe a popsicle stick or a straw attached like this. When it's your character's turn, they will hold it up and act it out, okay? Just like the way it's telling you in those parentheses, okay? And that's your dialogue. Those are the lines you're reading. That's going to be done by yourself, with you or your family. You can act it out now, or you can act it out at another time. It's there for you to use, okay? And have fun with, okay? Have fun with it. So just assign your parts and get that done, and utilize your masks at this time, okay? So this is a time you can either pause the video and go ahead and act out the play yourself, the drama yourself, using the masks and following the script. Okay, you could pause it now, and then I will continue. Okay, boys and girls, welcome back. I hope that you did have a chance to act out your play. If you're going to save it for a later time, that's perfectly fine, okay? And also had fun with your masks as well, okay? You could have even made up a story of yourself, of your own, okay? Have fun with it. But before you do, we are going to actually have this as your independent assignment, okay? This is what needs to be done, okay? You're going to do student page 1 and student page 2, okay? Make sure you have them. Characteristics of drama student chart, and then the drama pictures, okay? I'm going to do one with you. In case you do not have scissors or glue, it's okay. You will use this page and not cut anything out, okay? If you do have scissors and glue, you will cut these squares, rectangles out, and you will glue them here, okay, on this page of where it goes, okay? I'm going to show you as if you didn't have scissors, but if you do have scissors, you can cut them out and glue them where they go, okay? So let's look at the first one. It says cast of characters. I'm only going to do one with you. You will be doing the rest on your own, okay? You're also going to do a little bit extra on the back, and I'll explain that in a bit. Cast of characters. So looking at my drama pictures, which one of these is telling me the cast of characters? Which one shows me all the characters? Okay, take a minute. If you said this picture, you are correct. So remember, if you do not have scissors, you're going to write it right here. Cast of, just like this, characters. Okay? If you do have scissors, you can cut this one out and glue it here. Okay? So cut and glue. Only if you have scissors and glue. If you don't, you're just writing these words over here. Okay? Cast of characters. All right, I'm going to go one by one, but I'm not going to answer it for you. You will be picking which one goes there. Okay? All right, the next one says narrator. So go ahead and look for the narrator. Which one do you think is the narrator? Pick your picture, cut it out, and glue it here. If you don't have scissors, you are writing this word on the picture itself. Okay? Go to acts and scenes. Which one shows you, and it'll probably be circled or it'll be pointed to. Which one shows you acts and scenes? Okay, remember, if you don't have scissors, write these words on top. Or if you find it, cut it out and glue it. The next one is dialogue. So for your dialogue, which one is your dialogue? Remember, dialogue are the words that the actors are saying. So where is that showing you which picture? Cut it out and glue it here. If you don't have scissors, write this word on the box. Okay? Even if you write over the words, that's fine. And then the last one, setting. Okay? Which one of these is pointing to setting? And it's already hinting you there. It's pointing to the setting. So find it, cut it out and glue it. Or if you don't have scissors, this word you will write in the box. Okay? Now you're not done. This is your challenge, and it's a little extra. Okay? Where it says setting, right? Using your play, your drama, you will turn this around. Okay? You will utilize this page to draw. So you're going to go to the parentheses where it's telling you about where it's taking place. Like, let's say the first one told me looking out the window, it says walking into the living room and looking around at her friends. You can kind of make like a strip diagram. So for example, for that one, I would make a few boxes. You don't have to do it for all of them. Okay? And then I'm going to just go one by one. I'm going to go down. Okay? Little Red Hen, where she's looking out the window. You can even just draw that. She's looking out the window. And then you can have your Little Red Hen. Right? And maybe she's looking out the window. Okay? And then they say she's walking into the living room. You can draw that one. You can draw where she's in the field. Okay? And where she's cutting the wheat. Okay? You can draw that.